The camera shook violently as Amara stumbled backward, her silk robe half open, mascara streaking down her face. Behind her, baby Care's cry pierced through the perfectly lit nursery like a siren that refused to stop. The ring light toppled over. A bottle of breast milk spilled across the marble floor. And Amara, Lagos's most celebrated lifestyle influencer with 2.3 million followers, did something she'd never done before. She screamed back. "I can't do this anymore." The phone kept recording. Timmy, her assistant, stood frozen in the doorway, uncertain whether to stop filming or help. The raw footage lasted 47 seconds. By the time Amara realized what had happened, it was too late. Her finger had slipped. She'd posted it to her main account instead of drafts. Within minutes, the video had been viewed 100,000 times. Within an hour, it was everywhere. The caption she never wrote was auto-generated by her scheduling app, Motherhood Unfiltered, coming soon. The internet exploded. But this story doesn't begin with a breakdown. It begins 6 months earlier, when Amara thought she had everything figured out. When she believed motherhood would be her greatest brand evolution. When she stood in front of that same mirror, hand on her growing belly, and whispered to her reflection with absolute certainty, "This is going to be beautiful. Queen is glowing. This baby is blessed. Can't wait for the maternity content." Amara read every comment, her hand resting on her belly, her heart swelling with pride. She'd already planned the next 9 months down to the last detail. The gender reveal would be an intimate garden party filmed by Nigeria's best videographer. The nursery would be designed by an interior decorator who'd worked with celebrities. The birth story would be told in a 3-part documentary series. And when the baby arrived, Amara would show the world that you could be a mother and still be glamorous, successful, and in control. Her mother, Mama Ebra, visited that afternoon. She sat on Amara's velvet couch, her wrapper tied firmly around her waist, her eyes moving slowly across the spotless apartment. She didn't say much at first. She never did. But when Amara showed her the mood board for the nursery, the Pinterest perfect images of sleeping babies in clouds of 2, Mama Ebra set down her tea and spoke in that low, calm voice that always made Amara feel like a child again. "My daughter, pikin no dey follow filter." Amara laughed. "Mama, I know. But I'm just trying to make it beautiful, you know. For me and for her." "Beautiful is good," Mama Ebra said. "But baby no send you. When she come, she go show you wetin be real life." Amara kissed her mother's cheek and changed the subject. She didn't want to hear about struggle. She'd worked too hard to build a life free from chaos. She'd escaped the cramped apartment in Mushin where she grew up, where noise never stopped, where privacy didn't exist. She'd created a sanctuary. And she wasn't about to let fear ruin it. Timmy arrived an hour later with new ring lights and a short list. Amara's brand manager, Chioma, called to confirm that 3 baby brands wanted to partner for the pregnancy journey. A skincare company offered her $15,000 for a single post. Amara said yes to everything. She was unstoppable. She was ready. She had never felt more in control of her destiny. The pregnancy content performed even better than expected. Every ultrasound became a cinematic moment. Every craving was an aesthetic adventure. Her pregnancy glow routine video got 5 million views. The comments poured in like blessings. Amara felt invincible. She spent hours planning the nursery, choosing between shades of cream and ivory, debating between gold or silver drawer handles. Everything had to be perfect. Everything would be perfect. When her water broke 3 weeks early during a sponsored photo shoot for organic baby lotion, Amara's first instinct wasn't panic. It was annoyance. The lighting was finally right. The flowers had just been arranged. She looked at Timmy and said through gritted teeth, "Keep shooting. We can use this." Timmy stared at her like she'd lost her mind. "Amara, we need to go to the hospital." 5 more shots, Amara insisted, gripping the back of a chair as a contraction rolled through her. This is content gold. They barely made it to the hospital in time. Amara's labor was fast and brutal. She remembered screaming, remembered the fluorescent lights, remembered someone telling her to push. But what she remembered most was the sound. That first cry. Raw, urgent, unfiltered. It cut through the sterile air like a blade. And for a moment, Amara forgot about cameras, forgot about content, forgot about everything except that sound. When they placed Care on her chest, Amara looked down at the tiny, wrinkled face and felt something she hadn't expected. Terror. Not the soft, photogenic kind. The real kind. The kind that made her hands shake. Because this was real. This was a person. And Amara had no idea what to do. But she smiled for the camera anyway. The first month. Nobody told Amara that babies didn't care about aesthetics. Nobody told her that the cream-colored nursery would be drenched in spit-up within a week. Nobody told her that she would spend hours rocking Care in the dark, whispering desperate prayers for just 10 minutes of silence. Nobody told her that her body would feel foreign, that her mind would feel fractured, that she would sit on the bathroom floor at 3 a.m. and sob so hard she couldn't breathe. Care cried constantly. Not the cute, soft cries Amara had imagined. These were war cries. Guttural, relentless, maddening. Amara tried everything. Lullabies. White noise machines. Rocking. Swaddling. Feeding. Burping. Nothing worked. Care would scream until her face turned red, until Amara's ears rang, until the neighbors started knocking on the walls. Timmy suggested they film a real motherhood vlog. Amara refused. She wasn't ready to show this version of herself. The version with greasy hair and stained shirts. The version who hadn't slept in 48 hours. The version who sometimes looked at Care and felt nothing but exhaustion. Chioma kept texting. When can we schedule the comeback post? Brands are waiting. Amara ignored her. She couldn't think about content when she could barely think at all. One night, after 6 hours of non-stop crying, Amara laid Care in her crib and walked out of the room. She sat on the couch, her hands pressed against her ears, her heart pounding so hard she thought it would burst. She thought about getting in her car and driving away. Just for an hour. Just to breathe. But guilt pinned her to the cushions. What kind of mother thinks about leaving? Timmy found her there, tears streaming down her face. He didn't say anything. He just sat beside her and turned on the TV. An old Nollywood movie was playing. The sound of dramatic orchestra music filled the apartment. And then, like a miracle, the crying stopped. They both froze. Amara held her breath, terrified that any movement would break the spell. The silence stretched. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. Amara stood up slowly and walked to the nursery. Care was asleep. Fast asleep. Her tiny chest rising and falling peacefully. What just happened? Amara whispered. Timmy rewound the movie and played it again. Care stirred but didn't wake. The music kept playing. And for the first time in weeks, Amara felt something close to hope. Over the next few days, they tested the theory. Every time Care cried, they played the Nollywood soundtrack. And every time, she calmed down. It was absurd. It was ridiculous. But it worked. Amara laughed until she cried. She filmed a short clip of Care falling asleep to the dramatic music and posted it with the caption, "Apparently my baby is a Nollywood critic. This is my life now." The video went viral immediately. But not in the way Amara expected. The comments were brutal. "She's really lost it. This is so embarrassing. Where's the glow now? Unfollow. This isn't the content I signed up for." Amara read every comment. Each one felt like a slap. She'd spent years building a brand on perfection, and now the world was watching her fall apart. Chioma called, her voice tight with frustration. Amara, what are you doing? This isn't the image we discussed. Brands are pulling out. I'm just trying to survive, Amara said quietly. Well, figure it out. Because this isn't working. That night, Amara sat in the dark nursery, Kea asleep in her arms, the Nollywood soundtrack playing on repeat. She looked at her phone. Hundreds of notifications. Thousands of opinions. Millions of eyes watching her fail. And she realized something devastating. She'd spent so long performing that she'd forgotten how to just be. She didn't know who she was without the camera. She didn't know if she liked the person underneath the filter. The video that broke everything happened 3 weeks later. Amara hadn't slept in 2 days. Kea was teething. The crying had reached new levels of intensity. Timmy had called in sick. Chioma was threatening to drop her. And Amara was trying to film a sponsored post for a baby formula company because she needed the money. She set up the camera. She put on makeup. She forced a smile. But Kea wouldn't stop screaming. The formula spilled. The lighting was wrong. And something inside Amara snapped. She wasn't thinking. She was just breaking. And the camera captured everything. When she realized what she'd posted, Amara's blood ran cold. She tried to delete it, but it was too late. The video had been downloaded, shared, remixed into memes. Her breakdown became entertainment. The comments ranged from concern to mockery to outright cruelty. Some people called her brave. Most called her a mess. Everyone had an opinion. Amara deactivated her account. She turned off her phone. She sat in the silent apartment and felt the weight of her failure crush her. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. She was supposed to be the example. The proof that you could have it all. But here she was, broken and exposed, with nothing to show but humiliation. Mama Ebra arrived the next morning without calling. She took one look at Amara and didn't say a word. She just packed a bag, picked up Kea, and said, "We're going home." Amara didn't argue. She followed her mother out of the apartment, into the car, and out of Lagos. They drove for hours, past the city chaos, past the noise, past the life Amara had built. They drove until they reached the small village where Mama Ebra grew up. Where there was no Wi-Fi. No ring lights. No pressure to perform. The healing. The village was everything Lagos wasn't. Quiet. Slow. Simple. Amara spent the first few days doing nothing. She slept. She ate. She sat under trees and listened to birds. Kea seemed different here too. Calmer. More settled. As if she could feel the peace in the air. Mama Ebra didn't push Amara to talk. She just let her be. But one evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, she started humming. It was the same melody from the Nollywood soundtrack. Amara's eyes filled with tears. "You knew," Amara whispered. "I know that sound," Mama Ebra said. "My mother used to sing it to me. I sang it to you. Music no get border. No connection." Amara looked at Kea sleeping peacefully in her grandmother's arms. "I thought I could do it perfectly. I thought I could make it beautiful. Life no dey perfect, my daughter. But if it still dey beautiful." For the first time in months, Amara let herself cry without shame. She cried for the version of herself she'd lost. She cried for the pressure she'd carried. She cried because she was tired of pretending. And when the tears finally stopped, she felt lighter. Over the next few weeks, something shifted. Amara started recording again, but not for content. Just for herself. She filmed Kea's laugh. She filmed the village women teaching her how to cook. She filmed her own messy hair and tired eyes and said out loud, "This is me. This is real. And it's okay." One night, she recorded a video sitting on the porch, Care asleep on her chest. She spoke quietly, honestly, without editing her words. "I thought motherhood would make me more. Instead, it broke me open. I thought I had to have all the answers. But the truth is, I'm still learning. I'm still scared. I'm still tired. But I'm here. And that's enough." She posted it. And then she turned off her phone. When Amara finally checked her account 3 days later, she gasped. The video had 10 million views. The comments were different this time. Thousands of mothers sharing their own stories. Thousands of voices saying, "Me too." Thousands of people thanking her for being honest. Chioma called. "Amara, you've gone viral again. But this time, it's good. Really good. We are getting partnership offers from mental health organizations, parenting platforms, even a documentary team. They want the real you." Amara laughed. "The real me is exhausted." "Then show them that," Chioma said softly. "That's what they want to see." When Amara returned to Lagos, everything looked different. The apartment felt smaller. The ring lights felt unnecessary. She started posting differently. No filters. No perfect angles. Just life. Messy, chaotic, beautiful life. And her audience grew. Not because she was perfect, but because she was real. One evening, as Amara danced with Care to that old Nollywood soundtrack, she thought about the moment that broke her. The video that exposed her. The sound that silenced Care. And she realized something profound. That cry wasn't a problem to solve. It was a call to listen. And she'd finally learned how. She looked at the camera Timmy had set up in the corner. She smiled. Not the performed smile. The real one. "They asked me what changed," she said to the lens. "And I realized, nothing changed. I just stopped pretending." Care didn't need the perfect mother. She needed her mother. The one who cries. The one who fails. The one who shows up anyway. She turned off the camera and held Care close. The music played. The baby giggled. And for the first time since everything fell apart, Amara felt whole.